besties, welcome back to my channel, or hi, my name is Stacy if you're new here. So I got some requests to do a more like natural, bronzy, everyday makeup for summer compared to my previous summer makeup routine, which I'll link up here, where I use kind of like more brighter colors because I've been in a more like brighter, vibrant color mood lately. But this is kind of my other mood in the summer, which is like this glowy, bronzy, everyday, like super easy eye look, just slap it on, glowy skin, glossy lips, that kind of vibe. And yeah, let's just have fun getting ready together. But before I get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps out my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. And let's just get right into the video. Okay, we're gonna start off with my trusty Hollywood Flawless filter. I've had this for so long at this point. I've been like really trying to pan it. But yeah, I feel like I'm nowhere near finished, but also I can't really tell. So anyways, for our summer glowy base, we gotta always use this. And also whenever I use a more matte foundation, I like to use this. I usually won't use this if I'm using a more glowy foundation because I do have oily skin, so like I don't really need that extra glow. And I also try to avoid the center of my face because that's like the oiliest part. Then we just blend it out. You can see how I'm looking very glowy right now, but we're gonna go into this foundation, the Makeup Forever HD Skin, the reformulated one. There's one on the back of my hand, and I have the shade 1Y04, which I think is an okay match, but it might be a little bit dark. No, I actually think it's okay. Anyways, I've been really liking more matte foundations in the summer just because I do have oily skin, and then I sweat pretty easily. I just need a more matte foundation because it just becomes not matte throughout the day. Also, I've been really liking this one. It does have a slight fragrance, so if that's not your cup of tea. But the fragrance is like a clean fragrance. It's not like floral like a lot of luxury brands. I actually like this fragrance, but yeah, if fragrance like irritates your skin, it's probably not gonna be the best. But my favorite thing about this is it's quite blurring and it's very lightweight. So I feel like it's a perfect summer foundation. It's also not the most full coverage. I would say it's like a light medium. You can like build it, I guess, to a medium. But yeah, in the summer, like lighter is better, you know, just because you don't want to be packing too much stuff on your face because it's just all gonna melt off. Yeah, like you can see how it looks super natural. Also, it like took away some of the glow, but I still have that Hollywood Flawless filter peeking through. So like this is like my ideal finish. Yeah, I feel like it really like blurred my pores in the center. It's looking pretty like airbrushed. So yeah, I've really been liking this summer. Next I'm gonna go in with my Bobbi Brown color corrector in the shade Light Bisque. And this is just to correct those dark circles. You don't want to put too much because we're gonna put concealer on top of that. So it doesn't need to like fully get rid of everything, but just kind of evens out the tone. Okay, next up is a makeup rediscovery that I recently made, which is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. This is obviously not new, but I actually had decluttered it and given it to my mom at one point, and then I took it back from her recently. This has been my go-to concealer these days, and like I haven't even touched my Shape Tape, which is usually the one I go to for like full coverage. But yeah, like as you can see, I have dark circles, and then this just covers them right up. Like it has really full coverage, so I only use like a few dots, which is less than what I normally would use. Like I normally draw lines, and then conceal under my nose because it's always red there. And then I have a few little acne spots or acne scars, and cover my nose a little bit. I think it's thinner than the Tarte Shape Tape, which is like usually my holy grail for full coverage. This still gives you like a lot of coverage, but with less product, I feel like. And it's also easier to control the amount too with the applicator. The Tarte Shape Tape is like, the applicator is so thick, so it's easy to like put a lot on at once. Yeah, like I went through a period where I was using more medium coverage concealers. So this one is like really full in comparison. But I think it's still not as full as the Tarte Shape Tape, but this is like really full to me now because I like kind of have been using lower coverage concealers, or lower for me, because I usually like a more full coverage concealer. But anyways, you can see how it just like gives a really flawless finish, and it pretty much covered everything up. So yeah, I've been liking this one, but the thing is you do have to set this because otherwise it will crease. But I always set my concealer anyways. So now I'm gonna go into my Patrick bronzer duo, and this is my go-to this summer because I feel like the shade is just like the perfect bronzy tone for my skin. So I'm just going into the cream first. And in terms of contouring, I still prefer the Fenty Amber Matchsticks. Like that's my perfect contour shade, but this is more of a bronzing shade on me, as you can see. And it's quite a neutral bronzer, so it's like a really good tone. But he markets the cream as a contour, and I feel like for fair skin, or if you're like my skin tone, which is like more neutral, I guess, it's still not like cool tone enough for a contour. For me, for my contours, I need them to be like gray looking, because otherwise it's not like cool tone enough. But you can see how this just gives my skin like such a natural, bronzy, glow. So I've been really liking this. And it's also like really foolproof. Like it's not too pigmented, really easy to blend. Yeah, more so the cream too. I don't really use the powder side as much because I don't really use like powder bronzer. But if I ever like want to set it, I would just use that. You can see how seamless it's blending. And carve out my jawline because your girl needs some definition here. Where are my round-faced girlies at? Round-faced girlies, comment down below. And then I just clean up the bottom here with my beauty blender just because sometimes I bring it too low a little bit. Next up for blush is another Patrick Ta product because you know I'm a stan. But yeah, this is in the shade She's Blushing. I feel like it's the perfect summer blush for my skin tone. I'm just gonna put the cream down first. There's a more like rosy glow, and I feel like on my skin tone it has like a little bit of a sunburn quality to it. But on deeper skin tones, it'll be more like pinky rosy. But yeah, I feel like it's just a really nice everyday color. And you guys know that these duos are some of my favorite blushes. I think I have every shade in this, so that says something. I put a little bit on my nose because sometimes I feel like my nose looks like too white in comparison to like my blush. So if you feel that, then just put a little bit on your nose like that. Then I'm gonna go into the powder a little bit to set this. I don't want too much. Yeah, also definitely in the summer, I definitely use more powders just because we gotta keep those oils at bay. And everything becomes glowy anyways, you know? It's the perfect rosy flush for me, but still like not too dark or not like too red looking. Okay, now I'm gonna set my under eyes and my T-zone. Usually set like next to my nose first and then bring it up into my under eye because I get the most oily like right here. And then a little bit in between my eyebrows. I also get oily there. Also, pro tip, I never set like my forehead near my hairline. That's where I start sweating, especially in the summer. And then sweat and powder really do not mix. Like, if you're gonna sweat, you want it to be like on an unset area, if that makes sense. It'll start to break up your powder in that area, and then it'll start to like look really splotchy and just like bad. So I never like set my forehead. So anyways, next up I have this Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Exaggereyes. Here she is. I have a little bit of a meme story about this. This is one of her new Eyes to Mesmerize shades. So she just came out with 3 for the summer, and I purchased all 3 perhaps because I really do love Charlotte Tilbury's formula. Okay, but the meme about this is that I posted on my Insta story. Go follow me down below. It'll be linked in the description if you have an Instagram and if you want to follow me there for more like short form content, which I've been really into making lately. But anyways, I digress. On my Insta stories, a lot of the times I like to post about like new releases or like just kind of like my thoughts, or be like, oh, it's so pretty, like I want to buy it or whatever. Or I'll be like, don't know why they did this, XYZ. So on my Insta story, I posted the Charlotte Tilbury new Eyes to Mesmerize colors. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, should I pick these up? I'm like so torn. And then I put a little poll as to whether I should buy these or not. And then I think like 60% of the people said no, and 40% of the people said yes, I should buy it. So then I was like, okay, like I won't buy it because you guys didn't enable me this time. Because the first swatches I saw, they were kind of not flattering, not gonna lie. I feel like they just weren't taken in very good lighting, so it didn't really show like the shimmer and stuff very well. It made the shadows look very flat. I was like, I really love this cream formula, but I feel like sometimes they're not like shimmery enough for me. It is true, it's like better if you like a more natural eye. For me, I would always pair this cream eyeshadow with an extra sparkle on top because I just need that extra sparkle. If you know, you know. But yeah, so 60% of the people on my Insta stories were like, oh, don't buy it because it's like not sparkly enough. I was like, dang, like you guys are right, I shouldn't buy it. And then like a few days later, Charlotte Tilbury posted like a reel, which I'll try to see if I can post it here. But basically it was just like showing all the 3 swatched on the eyes, and I think the lighting was really good. So it like really like showcased all of the sparkles and like all the dimension and stuff. And it just looks so glittery and shimmery and so pretty. Their marketing definitely worked on me, and yeah, I immediately purchased after seeing that reel. And they look like extra sparkly, which I will say, I think that these ones are more sparkly than the original lineup. But anyways, this is the Exaggereyes shade. Actually, let me turn off the front light so hopefully you guys can see better. Like basically it is like the Exaggereyes palette. So it does have these micro shimmers that are really pretty, and they definitely reflect the light. And I feel like there's more of these like micro shimmery sparkles than in their regular Eyes to Mesmerize. If you guys bought the new ones, let me know what you think. But I think it's just great for like a one and done eyeshadow. Like you saw how easy it was to blend out. It's very, very creamy, but I also don't find like it's super heavy on the eyes. I don't really get creasing issues with these. I mean, I think that they crease like the tiniest bit, but it's not like an ugly kind of crease. You can just tap it out if you aren't gonna put anything on top of this. But I am also a self-proclaimed glitter queen. So of course we gotta add a little bit of extra glitter on top of this. Out of the 3 new shades, Exaggereyes is definitely my favorite, and I love her Exaggereyes palette. So I'm gonna go into her Exaggereyes palette. Mine is pretty old now. Yeah, so this has more of like a silvery taupey sheen, but you can see how the base is a little bit more warm. So it's very similar to the shine in here. And I'm just gonna add a little bit to the center. So I would say that this color actually matches pretty well. It's a little bit more silvery than the cream shadow. So you can see how that amped up the shadow a little bit. Actually, I think I want it to be a little bit warmer because it's a little bit cooler than what I wanted. So I'm gonna go into this Makeup by Mario Bronzite glitter master crystal reflector. I'm just gonna add some of this on top. You're just gonna make it a little bit warmer. You don't have to do this many steps. Just add like whatever glitter you want on top of this. But I think it's super pretty, and I feel like these cream shadows are a really good base for any glitter topper that you want to put on top of it. I'm just gonna lightly tap that on top. And yeah, I feel like that warmed it up a little bit and made it more of what I wanted this look to look like. We're just gonna lightly tap all over. Okay, next up, brows. So I've recently been into this Patrick Ta brow pencil. I feel like it's the perfect stiffness. It's not too stiff and not too soft. And I'm into more like lighter, fluffy brows now. And I also try to kind of fill in this under part of my arch to kind of like flatten my eyebrows, because I've been more into straight eyebrows, but like a natural straight, not like a ruler, you know, like, so that I guess they're slightly arched still. And then just brushing everything out. You can see how everything's like looking really light and fluffy. I also suggest for a softer brow look to use a lighter brow shade. So the shade I'm using today is medium brown. But yeah, basically I pick like taupier, lighter shades, because I used to use like the black or like dark brown shades, and I never use those anymore. They just make it too easy to like make your brows too dark. It kind of depends on your hair color though. But if you have black hair like me, I naturally have black hair. You can see my roots are showing. But I dye my hair like dark brown. But even though I dye my hair dark brown, I still do my brows with like usually like a taupe or a medium brown. So I go like a shade lighter, and I feel like that really helps me not overdo my brows. Then I go into this Patrick Ta brow gel. It's like their brow lamination gel. So I feel like this is pretty good. I like the wand, and the hold is also pretty good. The only problem I have with this is that you have to work kind of fast. You don't want to move it around when it's already drying, because then it'll start to get those like flaky pieces, which is literally the worst. But yeah, if you like work quickly, it's fine. But yeah, I feel like brow gel is a must, especially if you have Asian brows, because I noticed that a lot of Asian people, their brows like kind of grow downwards. So in order to like make them look lifted, you definitely need to go into a brow gel. I mean, unless you don't want them to look lifted, that's a different story. So I like to gel them to where they're not like going downwards, you know? Okay, next up is lashes. So I'm just gonna take my Shiseido lash curler. And this is my lash routine because some people have been asking, and I usually don't show me doing my lashes just because it takes me a long time. And it's also like a very tedious step. I feel like it's the same every time. So first I just curl them to get a relatively uniform curl. It's like the fastest way, as you can see. I do that to both sides. And you can see how I'm doing it, like I have to curl it like multiple times. I kind of like press and hold, and then like change up the angle a little bit too as well. Because otherwise it won't actually like curl it all the way. So yeah, that's like a pretty good curl, as you can see. But I usually need like the inner corner and outer corner to be curled. So then I take my mini Shiseido lash curler, and then I make sure to curl like the outer edges. And I also do like just go over the whole thing. Specifically the outer and the inner corners are what need to be like extra curled. So that's what I focus on. But I still like go through and curl the whole thing again. But anyways, as you can see, now my lashes are perfectly curled. Okay, and then my go-to mascara recently has been this Air Volume Mega Mascara. It has to be the waterproof version. I never don't use waterproof mascara. If you have lashes that don't hold a curl, you just have to use waterproof mascara, because they have a lot less water in the formula. And the thing is, like, water is going to be your lash curls like #1 enemy. That's why your lashes like won't stay curled in really humid weather, because there's just like water everywhere. So because it's waterproof, it doesn't have that much water in the formula. It's like made of some other like oil or silicone or something, which will allow your lashes to stay curled like forever. So I've been into this one because I feel like it gives my lashes enough volume like quickly. You can see how like this one is just like really fast. Even though it's like fast, I still take my time because I like to define like every single lash. And I really get it from like root to tip. You want to really make sure that you get the tips as well of your lashes, because that will help elongate them. I feel like people kind of forget, because like you're supposed to like clump it at the base more volume there, and then like have the tips be wispy. But once you have less product on the wand, you should definitely focus on the tips. It definitely like elongates it by like, I don't know, 0.1 centimeters or whatever. And like you can see the difference. And And then I'm gonna do the same on this eye. So I'll just like speed through this part. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the lashes. Here's the finished look. Super cute, and they're like really like fluffy. Okay, now we're nearing the end finally. I'm actually gonna add some more highlights. So I'm gonna use this Charlotte Tilbury Peachgasm wand. This has also been like a staple in my summer makeup routine. It's basically like a dark peachy highlighter. So it's like a blush topper, I guess. But yeah, I would never use this on its own just because it's so glowy, as you can see. So in order to like build up the pigment, I would have to like make it way too shiny. But as a blush topper, it's actually gorgeous. Like this versus this. Like this is still nice, but this is what I want. And also I make sure to keep it more on the outer part of my cheek, like don't bring it too far in, because then it will like start to accentuate pores there. Although this foundation did a really good job of like blurring those pores. The foundation plus the powder. So I always use these Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light wands whenever I want extra pop. It looks so glowy and like almost metallic, but it's like not quite metallic, but it somehow still looks natural at the same time. Don't really know what magic she put in these, but okay, last up we have the lips. I'm gonna remove the lip gloss I have on, which is my trusty Tower 28 Pistachio Gloss. That's like my go-to lip treatment before I start like doing my lipstick. Okay, so I just removed my lip gloss. And then for my go-to lip liner, if you've been watching me, I think you can guess what it is. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner. This is literally like the only lip liner I use. To be fair, I don't have many lip liners, but this is just like the perfect one for everything. And also this is kind of more of a brown nude. It's not like too brown. It still has enough like rosiness to it. So this one's like the perfect kind of contouring one, but not too gray, I feel like. And this lip liner like has a setting quality to it, so it's pretty long lasting. Also, I've been using it for quite a bit and it's still not done, so okay, then I'm gonna go into this MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in the shade Sultry Mauve. This is my favorite MAC lipstick formula. It's very K-beauty vibes. You can see how it's quite sheer, but then it has like this powdery finish. So good. But also it feels like a balm. Like one of the best lip formulas, period. Yeah, this is like the perfect rosy brown shade. Okay, and then to top it off, I'm gonna use this viral product, which is the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump. And this is in the shade White Peach, because I need to make everything glossy. So I'm just gonna tap it a little bit on the center. You can use the click up pen. Also, this is quite like pigmented and thick. I don't wanna put too thick of a layer. Yeah, like I can see why this is hyped because it's just a really nice glossy balm. It kind of makes my lips look a little bit thicker. Also, it's not sticky at all, super comfy. Yeah, it has like a slight coconut scent. It's not too heavy. And also the lip plump version like makes your lips feel minty. It's nothing like strong, but it's like a sweet mint flavor. So then usually at the end, I'll take a little bit more powder because like my oils will be kind of coming through. And you don't have to worry about it looking too powdery. I'm gonna set it with some setting spray. My trusty Charlotte Tilbury. And this is my favorite setting spray. It doesn't really change your makeup, but it like makes it last longer and just like stay in place. Yeah, this is like my go-to. It's like hairspray for your face. Anyways, so this is the finished makeup look. My kind of like bronzy, everyday summer look. What do we think? I love how everything turned out. I think it just looks very naturally glamorous and beautiful. It's giving everything that I wanted it to give. Also, I realized that most of the stuff in today's video is from like Charlotte Tilbury or Patrick Ta. Not sponsored, it's just because those are like my two favorite brands for that kind of like supermodel, glowy, bronzy look. That's like both effortless and glam at the same time. I know that a lot of you guys like those brands as well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video and getting ready with me. I had a fun time today and I really like how everything came out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, and comment and subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this because it really helps out my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!